Hey everyone, it's Vallen from Mischief of Mice, here with another Bit by Bit, this time on Thaumcraft 4. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit extra on our Bit by Bit. We're going to be doing Golemancy and covering Advanced Golems and Upgrades. Oh, please excuse the particle effects, I seem to have caught the flu. But, let's get down there so I can show you what we're going to be doing today. Here we are in the Thaumonomicon under the Golemancy tab, and you can see we have Advanced Golems. We're going to be covering those, plus the different effects that the upgrades will have, and a little bit of the bonuses that you may get from those on the different cores that you can choose. Plus, a little bit on the Traveling Trunk as we go through this. So, Advanced Golems, essentially you take any golem you like, with the 5 different ingredients in an Arcane Infusion altar, plus Cognito Sensus Invictus, and you'll have some minor instability on there. There's a very slight risk, but these guys will end up being a bit better than your average golem. They will have an extra upgrade slot, which, if you notice here, this is your average Thaumium golem, has 2 upgrade slots, the 2 little belly buttons there. And this one here is an advanced one. He has 3 belly button slots, and he looks a little different. He has a little like brain case going on there. It's pretty cool. Basically, you've upgraded them considerably, but they can accept another upgrade, but you can't have more than 2 of the same type. So if you try putting 3 in there, it's just not going to work. They do move a little bit faster, and they do have a greater sight range for either attacking or retrieving items, etc. Now, this applies to any golem that you do the Advanced Golemancy upgrade to. So, now, let's get into the different upgrades. So to start with, we're going to cover Fire, which is made very simply in an Arcane Workbench. And, essentially, you will be getting different effects. To start, I have across the top here the different Traveling Trunk effects. For those that have forgotten, a Traveling Trunk can accept a single upgrade as well. So, with this in mind, you can actually upgrade it, and it will defend its owner if attacked. So, I have a few guys over here, as an example. Let me try this here, and I'm going to spawn a few spiders. And then I am going to go into a different game mode and get them all angry at me once I tell these guys that they can actually move. Now don't forget, you can actually tell them to stay still. Alright. So you can see these guys are all upgraded with the fire ability here, and they make quick work of any enemy that has tried to attack you. Now, I punched this guy, but he didn't attack me. If he tries attacking me, well then, there you go. They finish him off quite quickly. Moving on, there are other abilities that can be imbued in a golem. For instance, by putting one of the upgrade slots in, which is done simply just by right-clicking on any golem, or the Traveling Trunk for that manner, it will increase the number of slots that the interface may allow. So if you have a golem, for instance, here he has 6 slots that you can actually work with. If you upgrade him with the fire, then he will have a few more to choose from. It also increases their melee damage, depending upon the core that you use, and it will automatically cook fish if he's a fishing golem. So keep that in mind. The last item is his melee attacks will also set targets on fire. So once again, if he's a guard golem and he's, let's say, attacking a pig or something, him setting it on fire might actually turn the drops into a pork chop or something like that. All right, on to the next one. We've got Water Upgrade. Now, the Water Upgrade with the Traveling Trunk means that the trunk itself is only accessible by the owner of the trunk, the person who put it down. So therefore, other players won't be able to access it. Plus, it's practically invincible. Its defense ratings are so high, and its ability to withstand damage is very great, but it can take damage and it could possibly die. So keep that in mind, but this is a really, really good upgrade if you want to go traveling in dangerous areas with your trunk. Now, as far as upgrading a golem, it will increase their visual range, that they can attack as well as access and do their tasks that you set for them. Plus, it will increase their ranged attack range. So if you upgrade them with an accessory, which we'll get into in a future bit by bit, they will actually shoot enemies at a greater distance. Now, getting into the order upgrade. This one here on the traveling trunk, it retains stored items. So if you use your Golemancer's Bell to pick up a trunk, it will usually end up dropping all of its contents on the ground, just spilling it everywhere. And this will allow it to keep it. But if you hold shift while doing that, to remove upgrades and so on, it will still drop all of its items on the ground. Now, as for golems, this actually adds color controls to a Golemancer's Bell. So those that may have colorblind issues, this is not going to really help you too much because these are really faded colors in my opinion. But if you can see here, I have two fairly different colors. I'm not sure if those that may have a colorblind effectiveness, if this will do it, but you can actually change the colors by just right-clicking on it. And you can tell your golem specifically the colors just by clicking left and right next to the color where you want them to sort items or empty them or so on. So it's a pretty handy one though. I mean, it does give you a lot finer control, and there being so many different colors, there is a lot of options. Even if you do have some difficulty with it, you should be able to tell at least some of the shades apart there. He also has several other options, and that is he will increase the % chance of getting a good fishing result. He'll also with a harvest core, he can now replant after harvesting if seeds are dropped. So essentially, if he's if he's got a harvest core, usually you'd have him just pick up stuff, and that's all he'd be able to do. He'd just break it, and the seeds would sit on the ground, and you'd have to get another golem to come in and replant, like a use golem. Well, what this allows you to do is just use the harvest core golem, and if seeds are harvested as well, he'll actually replant those on the spot, so you don't need to have two golems for that purpose. Now, also you can specify targets to attack if they're an advanced golem. Well, not necessarily advanced golem, but for instance, this guy here has a guard core and the order upgrade. You can actually tell him to attack monsters, animals, other players, creepers, everything. Now, I've seen them attack creepers. They actually will do a quick charge-in attack and run away really fast so that they don't get blown up in most cases. But the creepers will sometimes still blow up, and they may take out parts of your base that are nearby, so you'll want to be careful with that. Alright, so on to the next one, the Entropy upgrade. Now, this one here, it will actually turn a traveling trunk into a vacuum chest of sorts. He will suck in nearby items, not just those that touch his surface. So if you drop stuff nearby, or you just are mining like crazy and he's jumping around behind you, he should be able to pick up most of the items nearby. Now, as for a golem, he will give a thorns effect. So anything that hits him may take damage if it would be affected by the thorns enchantment that you could put on armor. Also, he allows them to sort by fuzzy logic. So for instance, if you have two different mods that use two different types of copper ore in the ground, what this would allow you to do is actually, if you're using him for sorting purposes, he would actually grab either or both types of copper for your uses, because he kind of ignores NBT data and so on. It reduces the % chance of getting a bad fishing result. Also, and of course these are with specific cores like the fishing core, but also with the Decanting Core, he can remove liquid pools farthest to the closest block. So what this means is if I've got a large pool of water, or let's say lava even, if I've got this entire area as lava, and I assign him here and tell him that he needs to start taking this lava into a container over there, well, what he'll do is he will walk all the way to the farthest spot that he can and start gathering the lava and putting it in that container and bringing it until it's all gone, or just until the container's full or whatever. So you could actually assign hopefully fireproof golems, to task of emptying lava for you into tanks, possibly an ender tank or something of that nature, so that you can use that stuff. Now, also, let's move on to the next one here. We've got the air upgrade. This one's very basic. Essentially, movement speed increase for the traveling trunk, movement speed increase for any golems assigned with it, plus their ranged attack speed is faster. So that just means they're going to be attacking via ranged if they have that upgrade or that accessory much quicker. And also they have the another ability with the fishing core to increase the chance of catching more than one item every time they catch something. So if they catch a fish, they might catch 2 fish, or they might catch an enchanted book and a fish, or something of that nature. Plus, they've got a faster click with block use or placement. So if they are a use golem, and you've got them like coming over here and like constantly harvesting something, and it's just instantly regrowing, but they're just kind of reacting very slowly with placing the block or picking the item up, then they'll actually respond quicker with that. Essentially, the air is all about speed increase for the most part, except when it comes to fishing. And last but not least, we've got the earth upgrade. This one here, with the traveling trunk, it can carry more items. Essentially, it becomes a bigger chest. Not visibly, just inside. So, when you install it on a golem, the carry limit is increased. So if the golem can only carry 4, it would upgrade that possibly to 8 or 16, etc., depending upon the cores you have installed or the type of golem that it is. Also, their harvest speed is much quicker, and their melee damage is increased. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If so, please give me a like, comment, or subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you.